A timid and nervous young man is waiting for his date, whom he met online. He feels skittish and excited about meeting her in real life for the first time. The young man is worried about the embarrassment and disappointment it might bring, if the date becomes a disaster. A message suddenly appears on his phone.
I'm around the corner, be there in a second, can't wait to finally meet you.
As he waits, he ponders the different scenarios for a successful date and how to avoid any awkward silences. Suddenly, he hears,
Hey, nice to meet you finally.
Hi, nice to finally meet you.
The young man signals for a table and they are led to one. As he takes his seat, he notices strange looks directed towards him from the fellow restaurant patrons. He asks his date if she would like a drink, and she does. He raises his hand to capture their server's attention.
Good evening, how can I help you?
The young man asks her what would she like, and orders it. He then asks the server to make some dinner recommendations for he and his date. The server, slightly confused, proceeds to make his suggestions. The young man asks his date for her preferences, then proceeds with ordering. The server, even more confused.
That's a lot of food. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Of course.
As the young man and the young woman continue with their date, he realizes the other restaurant goers are looking at them with curious, worried, and baffled expressions. They are all whispering to one another, and some are even gossiping with their server. Already nervous, he becomes more uncomfortably self-conscious and restless. Their server brings them their wine, a helpful distraction, he thinks. As the night deepens, their food gradually arrives, but the other patrons' glances grow worse. They are now staring, as if watching a show, and when he looks over, they quickly turn their sights to avoid any eye contact. He asks his date.
Do you feel the others are all giving us weird looks?
The young woman looks around and tells him,
I don't sense anything strange.
How's everything?
The food is great, but I feel the other patrons are acting extremely odd toward us.
Well, you see.
The young woman appears to be choking on her food. He asks desperately if someone can help her. But everyone around only seems perplexed and bewildered. He quickly looks back at their table and sees his date's head has fallen off her neck, and landed harshly onto the table as her body falls onto the floor. Her severed head stares at him blankly and says,
Help me.
Fuck!
Are you okay?
He asks the server to call the police immediately, but his server asks,
Why?
The young man tells him because his date needs help, and the server replies,
Sorry, but I don't really understand.
However, he can clearly see her severed head as she says,
Help.
The other restaurant patrons are staring at him with great confusion, and they all seem to be oblivious to the horror lying in front of them.
Excuse me, but you have been alone the entire night. I haven't seen anyone with you at the bar or your table ever since you arrived at the restaurant.
Throughout the night, he acted as if he was on a date. From greeting someone, ordering food, talking, laughing, and even trying to help an invisible person from choking. The young man is in disbelief and points to the head on the table, but her severed head and body have vanished. Shocked and hysterical, he runs out of the restaurant in a panic. He rushes past a small crowd gathering around an incident. Earlier that evening, the young woman was messaging the young man about her soon arrival as she walked down the street. She was suddenly hit by a speeding car. The force of impact launched her body into the air and she hit her head against a pointed fence, which tore her head from her body. Unaware of her sudden death, her spirit continued towards the restaurant, where her date was waiting. Will you soon be meeting someone for a romantic evening? I hope you think of this story whenever you do so. Do subscribe, like, comment, and share if you would like to hear more horror stories. Thank you for joining us. This is Dorian. Until next time.